Good morning, happy Friday. It is March 7th, so let's do our astrology and tarot for 7th, 8th, and 9th. So today, as of right now, for about another 45 minutes or so, till about 9:30 this morning Mountain Time, the moon is still in Gemini. It's currently in a square with Neptune, so this is like kind of a little bit of something feels off, but you're not really sure what it is. You're kind of in this space of intuition fighting with the little bit of information that's actually available, right? So things just kind of feel a little confusing right now. But then at around 9:30 Mountain Time, the moon will move into Cancer. That is its home sign. It's happy being there. It's comfortable there. And we'll be able to like feel our feelings a little better. Today, that moon is going to make an inconjunct with Pluto. This is going to be like a subconscious shift, emotional shift. A shift towards a more empathetic type of mindset. Hopefully, that's the way people take it, okay? Based on all of the insanity that's going on in the world around us. And then later tonight, it's going to square off with Mars, and that's likely to result in some type of argument. Now, the big story of the weekend, today and tomorrow specifically, is going to be Mars trining the Sun. It is exact, kind of late tonight. But it's also going to be in effect tomorrow. Tomorrow it's actually going to be triggered off by the moon making a conjunction to Mars tomorrow afternoon. Really keep an eye out for like some explosive type of energy from the folks around you. I don't really see this as being like a huge collective event, but more like a one-off event that's still kind of big, kind of ugly. There's real potential for folks to react, like emotional reactions in a violent manner. The last time that Mars was in Cancer, before this one a couple years ago, Mars in Cancer did show up as a lot of people protecting their homes by, unaliving people that were accidentally knocking on the wrong door. The one that stands out to me the most was a kid that was playing hide and go seek with their friend, and they hid behind a tree in their neighbor's yard, and the neighbor shot them. And let's just be clear here, all of those that were harmed or unalived were of the darker persuasion, and the folks pulling the trigger were looking like me, okay? So just keep an eye out for that. There's that delusion of the sun in Pisces and a wide open door to that emotional, I have to protect my home energies. Keep an eye out for that. Now, the good way to use this is leading with empathy, leading with compassion and understanding, right? So if you do have someone whose intuition is finally getting them to go, wait a minute, things aren't what I thought they were, and they're struggling with that, instead of getting on your high horse and saying, I told you so, this is going to be a good time to really be there for them, be a good friend, be willing to listen to them, and lead with compassion. That moon tomorrow is also going to be making a trine to the sun and to Saturn. So there's really this opportunity to lead from a place of compassion. But again, watch out for folks that are just reacting, emotional reactions. And it's like that anger built up emotional reactions, okay? It's the psychotic side of Cancer, quite honestly. And as someone who has a Cancer moon, trust me, Cancer can get super psychotic even without Mars involved. So just keep that in mind. Now, on Sunday evening, about 5:30ish, the moon moves into Leo. And I actually really like this. So once it's in Leo, it means it's going to be ruled by that sun in Pisces. This is really great time for creativity, for popping your headphones in and just getting lost in some music. It is really just a good time to hang out with the kids, do something kind of fun and childlike, and just enjoy yourself and just go with the flow type of energy Sunday evening. It's a good time to take a break from what's going on in the world, because we all need that from time to time, okay? The moon will oppose Pluto, so there you might feel that kind of struggle going on of, I just want to chill for a minute, versus, oh no, the world's falling apart. Take the time for yourself. Take the time to chill. Take the time to relax and find like a happy space Sunday evening before you start off the next week, okay? So let's go ahead and pull some cards As I said, today it's got like tension building. Tomorrow I think is where we really see things kind of pop off there in the realm of like emotional outbursts. Okay? Just keep in mind that a lot of folks are slowly but surely coming around to where they've been deluded, where they've been lied to, where they've not been paying attention, and they're like kind of angry about it, okay? So what is the energy for the weekend for the collective? Energy for the collective for this weekend. Maybe. Two of Wands. So it feels like it's time to make a decision, right? This is just that energy of it's time to do something for you. It's time to make that decision to move forward for yourself. Something that lights you up, something that gets you going, something that really inspires you to keep going. So that, and I think we're kind of all really starting to feel this, and that Sun trine the Mars might have a lot to do with this as well. Of hitting a point where you're like, what am I doing? Why am I doing all of this stuff that's benefiting everybody else? And the only thing it's doing for me is making a paycheck, right? And really kind of leaning towards the idea of doing something that makes you feel good, that keeps you going, that gives you inspiration, okay? So that's kind of the energy that we're looking out for this weekend, okay? What to focus on? What does the collective need to focus on this weekend? Let's see, we got two of them. Let's take it. Temperance and 10 of Cups. Finding that balance in your emotional fulfillment, right? We get so obsessed with productivity, right? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? That we oftentimes don't stop and enjoy what we've been working for, right? Focus on that this weekend. Take that time to step back, look at all the work that you've done, look at how far you've come, and take that time to enjoy the emotional fulfillment, your home, your family, time with kids, whatever. And really slow down this weekend. These retrogrades, I keep saying this, I know I sound like a broken record, the retrogrades tell us to slow down and reassess things, right? And right now that is Venus. Venus is very much telling us to review what we've done for ourselves, where we've taken care of ourselves, where we've been held back by other people. So take that time to slow down this weekend and just assess where you're at. Look at how far you've come. Take that time to enjoy the growth that you've made, the healing that you've made. The temperance is, what ugliness have you turned into a positive? And how have you really figured out how to live within that in an emotionally fulfilled manner, okay? What to avoid this weekend? Ace of Cups. No starting new relationships, folks. Okay. Keep saying again, those thoughts that come up when a planet is retrograde, those are for you, not the other person. We don't do this whole, if I'm thinking about them, then they're thinking about me stuff. But let's not do that. Those thoughts are for you. They are for you to think about. They are for you to process. They are for you to learn and grow from. Also, trying to start something new with the Venus in retrograde, never a good idea. Trying to start something new when Venus is in Aries, never a good idea, unless it is in accordance with your natal chart, okay? Venus retrograde in Aries is incredibly tempting to hide from things by jumping into something new, right? It's really, really tempting to decide not to deal with your stuff and instead just go make yourself feel better with somebody else for a little bit. That rarely ever lasts, okay? Bottom of the deck is the Magician. So there is this underlying energy of you have everything you need to do what you need to do, right? You've just got to be the one to do it, okay? Let's pull clarifiers on the Two of Wands, our energy. Go. Four of Wands. See, there's a little bit of enjoyment and excitement in this. And Five of Cups. Interesting. This is actually giving me the celebrating the learning from the past, right? Five of Cups is often seen as regrets, but sometimes it's also like that just reminiscing moment. Like this is Venus retrogrades repeat themselves every 8 years, okay? So March, April of 2017 till now is one big old long lesson about finding yourself within relationships, finding out who you are as an individual, and like learning to love yourself as an individual, right? So the Five of Cups, while it's sometimes read as like regret, and sometimes there is regret involved in that, it's also about that reminiscing, looking back and seeing where you could have done things differently. Not necessarily seeing it as a regret, but as a learning lesson on how you can move forward. And then we've got the Four of Wands here as like being able to celebrate that healing and that growth, being able to think about the past and process it without beating yourself up, and being able to get into a better space, right? And that energy is giving you the ability to want to move forward, right? This is kind of like a pat on the back type of energy of, okay, I went through it. I dealt with it. I processed it. I am not mad at myself for it. And now I can do better next time. It's kind of right in line with what we're focusing on here too. So let's pull our clarifiers for the Temperance and Ten of Cups. Six of Cups. There's your past. And Death. Transforming the past. So get this. Six of Cups always gives me Leo energy though. This is like a very childlike kind of energy. And I really like it with this. So we've done this. We figured out how to turn the ugliness of the past into a positive. We're figuring out how to enjoy things in the moment, have our emotional fulfillment in the moment, right? We're really focusing on that. And this is kind of similar here where we're transforming those past experiences. We are learning how to be calm and simple. Six of Cups has a very simpleness to it. You know, it doesn't have all the stressors of the world attached to it. And learning how to transform within that. How have you transformed the past into a positive? How are you different now than you were then? How much growth have you made? Type of energy here, okay? But this is also giving me like, make sure you're leaving the past where it belongs, right? We're not going backwards. No going backwards, okay? If someone comes around and you need to have the conversation, have the conversation, but don't like open that door wide open and be like, yeah, sure, come on in, right? Cancer Moon can do that. We're so bad at that. I'm bad at that, okay? Clarifiers for our Ace of Cups. Why are we avoiding the Ace of Cups, these new emotional beginnings? We have the World, because you got to leave the past in the past. You've got to end those cycles, right? The way we can have a real habit of restarting the same cycle with a Venus retrograde, it's really tempting, especially in Aries, because it's got that impulsiveness attached to it. And King of Wands, because we've got to end the cycle so that we can move forward in like a better place, right? Ending those cycles, learning the lessons from those cycles, and figuring out how to use all of those lessons to heal ourselves and move forward with more excitement, more drive, more strength in us. King of Wands is kind of Emperor-ish, but in a more like friendly, fun kind of way, right? So leave the past in the past. If you've got to have the conversation, you got to have that closure or whatever, that's fine, but make sure we're closing that door, okay? Bottom of the deck is Knight of Cups. There is this underlying energy of that spontaneity and not really thinking things through, kind of like a knight in shining armor kind of energy. You come in on the white horse and then disappear just as fast as you came in, right? So that is that underlying energy with the Mars being impulsive, Venus being in Aries ruled by that Mars, Mercury being in Aries ruled by that Mars, and all of this emotion that we have going on, and the, quite honestly, a little bit of delulu-ness going on with all of our Pisces stuff right now. Make sure your boundaries are good. Have the conversations if you need to, but make sure that you're closing out the cycles that need to be closed out for sure.